It started with a low-budget film in 2001, based on a New York magazine article about illegal street racers.
Dominic Toretto just went rogue.
Fast forward to 2017, and Fast and Furious returns for its 8th outing in the fate of the Furious.
Taking you down, Toretto. Want to play like that?
Fast and Furious franchise, the biggest of Universal's franchises, Furious 7 the biggest grossing. From a marketing point of view, why do you think the franchise has been so successful?
As a franchise, it's truly global in its appeal. It's multicultural. It has numerous characters in that have appeal around the world. It has very strong male characters and equally strong, if not stronger, female characters. And at its core, it's a film about people that love racing cars, and it's maintained that in its DNA all throughout its evolution.
Fate of the Furious, the 8th in the series. Why do you think this is going to be as successful?
Well, throughout the other movies, there's been an underlying story which the fans probably, weren't aware of. And with each passing film, our team of outlaws come up against a bigger foe. In this one, they meet someone that's been lurking in the background of their previous movies and proves to be their biggest foe, and also turns the family, the gang, in on themselves. So it sort of sees the family ripped apart, which we've never seen before, and it sees them up against somebody that is more than capable of destroying them as a group. So it really does raise the stakes on the film.
You ready?
One thing I can guarantee, no one's ready for this.
From a marketing perspective, how much effort are you putting into this film compared to the previous?
The films have their own ecosystem now. We've got stars that have huge social presence. I mean, Vin Diesel has the biggest Facebook community in the world of all Hollywood stars. Fast and Furious itself has an ecosystem all over the world. So we're able to communicate all the time with our fans. We put a lot of effort into that. We launch our trailers for these movies like we launch the films. They are events in themselves. And at the moment, our film stars are touring all around the world, engaging with fans.
At what point did it become a franchise rather than just a film that became, it's a sequel, it's another sequel? At what point did each of the films become, as you say, its own ecosystem?
I think actually Film 4, the filmmakers saw the potential for much bigger story arcs and realised that we could take this sort of gang of illegal street racers and put them on a much bigger stage. And with each movie, that's escalated. And Fast now, we're just going into number 8, and 8 is the beginning of a new trilogy within the overall saga. So there's been some real far-sighted thinking behind this franchise in terms of where it could go and where the characters could go. And it hasn't sort of been opportunistic, it's been very much about much bigger story arcs.
To what extent is marketing impacting on the story itself and the way, say, the style that the film is shot in?
We do a lot of research pre and post the release of each movie to understand where we are in each of the countries around the world. The research doesn't inform the storyline, but there have been happy coincidences. A while back after 6, we asked fans who would they love to see in the franchise, and interesting, Jason Statham in most countries came up as the character they'd love to, or an actor they'd love to see join.
I think that tight t-shirt's cutting up the circulation of your brain. You should get a bigger size.
Filmmakers were already talking to him because they just figured he was a perfect addition as a major addition to the franchise. What it does do, though, is just keep us on track. There are things that are very Fast and Furious and belong in that world, and there are things that we could do that aren't. And there's a constant dialogue between filmmakers and fans about what's appropriate and what's not.
How's the marketing ensure that the fans are getting what they want then?
It's really a constant dialogue. As soon as we go into production, the fans are being fed daily, weekly updates from the set. They're seeing stuff as it happens. They have a connection with their stars. There's always a constant push for that sort of core car value, and that does sit very much in everything that we do. But each time we stretch, and each time you'll see things in a Fast and Furious movie that just within the world, the physics of a Fast and Furious movie sort of push the envelope, but never quite sort of go too far.
Tell me about the spin-offs, the games, the toys. It seems to be very, very managed. It doesn't seem to be overexploited like it is with some franchises.
We've had a constant sort of video game presence. It's obviously an extension of the franchise in terms of car racing, and that's been very successful. We're working with Mattel on a new toy range which will come out with the next movie, and that's exciting because we've never seen all the cars realised from the films, because essentially they're the other stars. And then the big thing on the horizon for us is a project called Fast Live, which is really exciting, and it's the next iteration of where do you take Fast but take it into an arena and actually have a live experience of the Fast and Furious films.
When you were coming up with that live concept, what was, from a marketing perspective, the reason for doing it? Was it just kind of keeping the name alive between films, or what?
It became a logical extension which has marketing benefits, but when you actually see the concept, it's so obvious that take the stunts, that, you know, the big hero moments that we've seen in all the previous films, but realise them in the stadium environment, you know, in a big family environment, but do things which are almost on a scale of like a Las Vegas show, where you've got cars crashing, you've got the most amazing stunts, but done within an auditorium. And it really is something that's going to take the brand on further and actually broaden our audience. So it wasn't a marketing exercise per se, but it's something that was going to is going to keep the brand reaching out to a bigger audience.
Why do you think Fast and Furious, as the entire package, why do you think it's got a long life ahead of it?
Really good cinema is about experience, and actually that's become even more so today in terms of that's what's unique to cinema, that big audience experience. And Fast and Furious is incredibly good at that. And the filmmakers, that's kind of what, you know, gets them up in the morning. It's all about how they take that to the next level each time. And they're pumped when they see the audience react to what they're doing and they surprise it. And Fast and Furious has been incredibly good at raising its own bar on every single movie. And Fast and Furious 8 definitely goes to a new level.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.